Hey, yo, what's going on? It's Adrian, coming with another quarterback rankings video. I'm gonna be trying to do this all season. This is after week 3. I want to put together a college quarterbacks ranking too, probably just like a top 10 for the draft. I'm not entirely sure yet, but I'm gonna start building that. I think today. Let me know if you guys want any other type of video, probably NFL related, but I might be able to dabble in like college or specifically New York Giants stuff I can do too. Let me know, but we're gonna get into this 32 guys. As you can see, I already got Zach Wilson up. He stays at 32. Yeah, the Jets need a new quarterback. I don't think Zach Wilson's the guy. He had 157 yards against a good Patriots defense, so I guess I'll give him that. And this week, he's gonna go to Kansas City to face the Chiefs. That's not great. They signed Trevor Simeon, and they still have Tim Boyle. Maybe one of them get a shot. I don't know. This the worst situation the Jets could have possibly gotten into this season. So yeah, Zach Wilson stays at 32. I really hope we see somebody else there. 31. I got Desmond Ritter here. He moved on 2 spots for me. I just don't think he looks very good. He had 201 yards against the Lions. That is a decent defense, but and he got some things going, I suppose, but I don't know. He just looks like so lukewarm to me. I think I want to see Trevor Heineke. Taylor. I want to see Taylor Heineke in this offense. I think he would put them in better positions. He would also throw picks, but he's not afraid with the ball. Desmond Ritter looks like scared to make the wrong decision or something. I don't know. He's heading to London this week. Early morning game in London against the Jags and basically in Jags territory. We'll see what they can do. The Jags defense hasn't looked very good so far, so maybe Desmond Ritter can get something going and jump in these ratings a little. I don't know. Don't trust in him. Don't believe in him. I think the Jags are going to take him out, but we'll see what he can do. At 30, I got Justin Fields. He drops 5 spots in my rankings. He just looks awful this year. I thought maybe a lot of people thought maybe he's got so much potential and talent. He could have taken a step in this year, but he just looks bad. He had 99 yards, a touchdown, and a pick against the Chiefs. Um, and he just looks like he's making a lot of bad decisions, basically. And I think his coaching's terrible. I think I've said that before. And I think the Bears might be a disaster. But they got the Broncos defense this week. They just got 70 dropped on them, so maybe Fields has a shot. Maybe he'll go off this week. We'll see. I still don't believe in him or trust in him. That's why he's down here at 30. But we'll see what happens. At 29, I got Josh Dobbs. He jumped a couple spots. Dobbs, he's not good per se. He's got some talent and he looks pretty smart. He had 189 yards, a touchdown, and he rushed for 55 against a really good Cowboys defense. They lost Trayvon Diggs, of course, but they're still really good. So this was very surprising. I thought Dobbs and the Cardinals offense was going to be stuck in the mud all game, and I don't know. Dobbs has really surprised me this year so far. I mean, he's at 29, so it's not like he's like high at all, but I thought for sure he was going to be a disaster, kind of like Geno Smith the year before. So Dobbs, maybe he can keep moving up. Maybe he can maintain a backup or potential low starting caliber spot after this year if he can keep it up. We'll see, and we'll see if we ever see Kyler Murray in this offense again too. He's got the 49ers defense next week, so it doesn't get easier. It actually gets harder from here, I would say, with the 49ers D. That's another tough one, but he looked good against the Cowboys D. He looked good for a quarterback against a Cowboys defense that's really good. So we'll see what he can do against the 49ers defense. I expect him to struggle, but at the same time, I thought he was going to struggle by now too. So I have no idea what to think at this point about this guy. He's at 29 for now. At 28, I got Kenny Pickett. He had a good game. He had 235 yards and 2 touchdowns. He did drop a spot. That's more because I think a couple guys hop up in the ratings, and I wasn't sure what to do with him. Um, this was against the Raiders defense that isn't like super impressive, so I'm not going to give it too much stock yet. We'll see if he can, build upon it next week. He's got the Texans defense, so they haven't been super amazing, so maybe he can build upon it a little bit and start getting something going. That's what I kind of hope. That's what it looked like. I've said this before. It's what it looked like in the preseason, but Yeah, we'll see. He got a few things going. He still looks a little shaky at times in the pocket. They really need him to keep it up though if they want a shot at making the playoffs this year. Next, I got Gardner Minshew at 27. So Anthony Richardson, concussion, he didn't get the start. They definitely want him back. But Minshew didn't look bad. I did have him drop one spot in the rankings. They were at 26. But again, just like Kenny Pickett, that's because people passed him. He had 227 yards and a touchdown against a good Ravens defense, and they came back and got the win when they really shouldn't have. He did have a weird like safety where he stepped out of bounds. That wasn't great, but overall, I thought he looked pretty good, pretty solid. I think they're fine without Richardson if they need Minshew to start some games. They got the Rams defense this coming week. That'll be probably a tough one. They got Aaron Donald. He's going to be running at them. Ooh, excuse me. But I trust Gardner Minshew. We're still not sure. Anthony Richardson might come back. We're not sure at the moment, but I'd be fine seeing Minshew again. To be honest, I'm gonna see real quick if Richardson has passed it while I've been talking, because he could play. Okay, he's been getting full practices in, so honestly, that probably means we're gonna see Richardson again in this week. So that's exciting. I like Richardson. It'll be fun to see what he can do against a Rams defense. But yeah, Gardner Minshew stays at 27. At 26, I had CJ Stroud jump up a couple spots. He had a really good game against a struggling Jags defense. He had 280 yards and 2 touchdowns. He looks like the best quarterback in this rookie class right now. He's got the Steelers defense, so a much tougher challenge this week. But I just really like what I see from this guy so far. I think he's going to jump up much higher than 26 as the season goes on, and I'm excited to see what he can do because he's got Tank Dell making big plays for him, and Nico Collins has been decent with him. I'm just excited to see what Stroud can do. By the end of this year, maybe he can be like pushing for good, like pretty dang good quarterback stats and starts. We'll see. I really like it though. I like what I'm seeing. Hey, he only jumped 2 spots for now. I think he's going to be rising in the future. At 25, I got Baker Mayfield. He has dropped 1 spot for me. Again, because people passed him. He had 146 yards, a touchdown, and a pick against a tough Eagles defense. He really held in, though, and made some throws and kind of pushed the Eagles defense a little bit at least. It's clear that there was a skill gap between the two teams, but Baker Mayfield has looked pretty good for this team so far. Yeah, he's down at 25, but I don't know. He hasn't had any really bad games yet. I still kind of expect that to come, but I like him. I think he's going to keep this job. I don't think we're going to see the backup there play like we initially may have thought. He's got the Saints defense. He's going to the Saints defense this week. That's a decent defense. Definitely not as good as the Eagles, but they're not bad either. We'll see. This will be a big game for him. We'll see if he can get a needed win against the Saints, a divisional rival in the Saints. It'll be a fun game. I don't expect him to do too much this season other than stay around 25, though. At 24, I got Sam Howell. He had a horrible game. I dropped him 3 spots. I'm really excited for Sam Howell, but he just had a dreadful game. 170 yards, but he threw 4 interceptions against a very good Bills defense. If he wants to be a quarterback in this league, he has to learn how to play against these defenses and, just take what he can get against a really good defense. I mean, I'll give it to him. He was still shooting for the sky going into the fourth quarter, but he's just got to learn when he can try to make those big throws. That was his issue in this Bills game, and yeah, he's going to Philly this week, so it's not going to get easier for him. The Eagles' defense is very good, and hopefully he won't have another disaster and he learned something from this game. I don't have a lot of faith, though, that he's going to have a good game at all against the Eagles. Hopefully, I hope he can just kind of be a game manager type in this one because it's dangerous territory we're heading into. But yeah, I got him at 24 for now. I think he's still going to be rising in the rankings before the end of the season, but after this one, I'm not as sure about it. At 23, I got Ryan Tannehill. He dropped 1 spot in my rankings. 104 yards, just couldn't really get anything going against a really good Browns defense. Yeah, the Titans offense the O-line is a disaster. Skoronski's been hurt. Dillard has been terrible as the guy they brought in to help out. it just hasn't been good at all. And Tannehill is an old quarterback, and he can't take these hits like he used to. I think the Titans are probably going to scrap everything after this year, or maybe during this year. So I think this probably is going to be Tannehill's last ride with the Titans, unfortunately, for Titans fans and for him. But I still think he's a decent quarterback, and he's probably going to be like the Falcons quarterback next year or something. That's my guess right now. But I don't know. He's probably going to stay in the 20s this year. He's still a solid quarterback that makes good decisions. He just doesn't have a lot to work with here. They got the Bengals this week. They showed the Bengals showed up against the Rams, so I don't think it'll be too easy for Tannehill and the offense here. He might have another tough one coming up. So we'll see. At 22, this is a guy that made everyone drop spots. Andy Dalton. Yeah, he stepped in for Bryce Young, who had an ankle injury, and Dalton just looked way better. And he's a savvy vet, so I mean, I guess maybe he should look better than Bryce Young, who's still learning everything at an NFL level. But yeah, Andy Dalton, 361 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Seahawks in 12-man territory, too. That's impressive, to be honest. Yeah, he jumps 8 spots with the Panthers, and he's heading, well, it's in North Carolina. The Vikings are coming to town, though, so if Dalton plays again, I expect him to put up big numbers again because the Vikings defense has not been good. So Andy Dalton, if he plays, he can maybe even rise up the rankings more. I like Andy Dalton. I think he's a great veteran presence to have in this room. I think Bryce Young is really going to be able to learn from him as we go along, and I want Bryce Young to like sit and learn from him, but I don't think the Panthers are going to want to do that. You know, he was the first overall pick for a reason. They're going to want him to play and learn. I really wish that they weren't doing that because I think much like Pat Mahomes learned under the Niners' old quarterback, the guy that got hurt. Shoot, what was his? Alex Smith. Much like Pat Mahomes learned under Alex Smith for a year, I think Bryce Young could do good learning under Andy Dalton for a year, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Bryce Young's probably going to come back for this next week against the Seahawks. Hopefully he can get something going. He's looked rough in his first few starts, but he's a rookie, so that's normal. But yeah, I think the Panthers are better with Andy Dalton overall. And yeah, I got him at 22. We'll see if he plays again. At 21, I got Deshaun Watson. Yeah, he jumps up a couple spots. He had 289 yards and 2 touchdowns against a good Titans defense. It looks like he kind of figured something out a little bit. He was still a little rough around the edges, but he did overall pretty well. This was without Nick Chubb for his first game. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like Deshaun Watson because of everything that happened, but that's neither here nor there. He might be on his way to coming back if this game is saying anything. He's got the Ravens this week. That's a solid defense with some injuries. If Deshaun Watson can do again what he did against the Titans or something similar or better, he's on his way to jumping up these rankings for sure. And the Browns are on their way to the playoffs. But this is a very good divisional game, a very heated rivalry with the Ravens, and they're definitely not going to let Deshaun Watson come in and do it. He's got to do it himself. He's got to take it. So we'll see if he can do that. I honestly don't have faith, but we'll see what he can do. At 20, I got Jordan Love. Not sure what exactly to think about him. He had 259 yards, a touchdown, a pick, and a rushing touchdown against the Saints in this one. This was a tale of two halves for him. He showed a lot of adversity here. He started out very rough, and he didn't have a couple of big starters on that offense as well, in Jones and Watson. So, yeah, but he came out in the second half slinging it. He came up from a 17-0. He came up. They were down 17-0, and he led a huge comeback in the second half. Very impressive. It was first win in Lambeau Field. He looks kind of like their guy right now. He led the team in rushing. He looks very talented. He's got the Lions, though, this week. It actually already happened. I'm not going to talk about it in this video, but I'll say what I think what would have happened before the game, basically. I think he's going to go off in this one. I think he's very talented, and it's a good, solid Lions defense, but he should have his guys back, and I just am excited to see what Love can do with his full offense at his disposal. So should be a good one. And I think Love by the end of the year is going to be at least in the teens. Well, yeah, in the teens. I think he's very talented, and I'm excited to see what he can do. At 19, I still got Daniel Jones. He kind of had a rough game, 137 yards and a pick against a really good 49ers defense. His offense has really been letting him down, though. The O-line is a beat-up mess. His receiving room hasn't stepped up for him. He's got some talent, but they're just not able. He can't get the ball off before they're even done running their routes because the O-line has been so bad, honestly. So I'm leaving him at 19 for now. He's got the Seahawks this week. That should be a much better game for him. I believe they're getting most of their injured guys back as well. So I think Daniel Jones. This is like a need-win game too for him because they got a tough schedule coming up. But this is kind of like a we need this team, this offense to show up in this one kind of game, and I think they're gonna. And I think Daniel Jones is gonna do much better. So got him at 19 still. We'll see if he can, stay there or do better. At 18, I got Jimmy G. I don't know. Tough situation for Jimmy G. I don't know really where to put him, so I'm keeping it at 18 for now. He had 324 yards and 2 touchdowns, which is really solid against a good Steelers defense, but he also threw 3 picks and had a concussion at the end of the game. So not good, obviously. He's thrown a lot of picks in 2 games now, and he might not even play in this next one, so yeah, I don't know. This offense, I talked about it at the beginning of the year. I do not like this offense. I don't like the coaching staff. And just, I wish Jimmy G didn't go here, honestly. I don't know how much better he can do in this offense. He's a very talented, savvy veteran quarterback, but I don't think this offense is giving him much. Devontae Adams is great for him, but I just hate the play call. I just hate it so much. But this was against a really hard team. We'll see if he can get in and play against the Chargers. That should be much easier and could be a shootout if Jimmy G is playing. If not, Brian Hoyer is going to get the start, which I think the Chargers are going to destroy them if Brian Hoyer is playing. Hoyer, another veteran who can lead this offense, but he's not quite as skilled as Jimmy G. So hopefully Jimmy G can get in and play and pass concussion protocol. We will see. I also just don't want to change this picture of Jimmy G. At 17, I got Derek Carr. He was looking solid against the Packers, 103 yards and a touchdown, but he did get injured in this one, a shoulder injury. He's probably going to miss a few weeks, which is very upsetting. Carr doesn't usually get hurt, and he probably really wanted to be there for this Bucks game as it's a divisional rival and a big game. But unfortunately, he's most likely going to miss this one, which means Jameis Winston is going to be getting the start against his old team, the Buccaneers. That should be fun. Jameis started out kind of pretty rough in this one, to be honest. It just looks like he wasn't prepared for it, which is unfortunate. But he should get a full week of preparation for the Buccaneers, so I expect him to come out strong. We'll see what Jameis Winston can be next week, and hopefully Derek Carr can come back in the next few weeks, because the shoulder injury apparently isn't nearly as bad as what initially they feared, but he's still going to be week to week, so we'll see if he comes back. They shouldn't rush him back, though, because this is a team that wants to get into the playoffs. But I got him at 17 for now. At 16, I still got Mac Jones right in the middle. I don't know what to think about this guy. I don't like Mac Jones, but he is relatively talented. He had 201 yards and a touchdown against a good Jets defense, which is saying something. He's got the Cowboys this week, which is at least on par with the Jets defense. They might be better. They might be a little worse with the loss of Diggs, but I expect Mac Jones to probably stay around 16. He's like talented, but not super talented. So 16 is like a perfect spot for him, if you ask me. He's also, as you could see with Sauce Gardner, a very dirty player. I just don't like this guy. I think he's a perfect Patriots quarterback, to be honest. Fucking hate him. Let's just move. I keep him at 16 for now. At 15, I got Russell Wilson. People might disagree with this, but he had 306 yards and a touchdown against, I guess, a bad Dolphins. Not great Dolphins defense, so it's not saying too much. He also threw a pick. They got annihilated in this one, but that was more the defense than the offense. He still scored 20 points in this one. I think he looks much better than last year, so I'm keeping him at 15 for now until he proves otherwise. They're going to Chicago to face the Bears this week, so he should have another solid, good game. I think he should get a win in this one, hopefully. He's 0-3 right now, which is not good, especially with what he's getting paid. But yeah, he stays at 15 for now. Disagree with me if you want. I don't care. At 14, we got Dak Prescott. Yeah, people probably want him higher too. He had 249 yards, a touchdown, and a pick against a Cardinals defense that is playing much better than they should be, honestly. Um, yeah, Dak looked meh, like he always looks. Basically, they got a home game against the Patriots this week. That should be a much tougher challenge, and I expect Dak to not do nearly as well. So yeah, I got him at 14 for now. I don't really like Dak too much. He's talented, but he's like meh. He's just there. He seems kind of scared to make big plays. I don't know. He's basically a Tony Romo clone, if you ask me. Let's move to 13. We got Lamar Jackson. Yeah, I know people want him in the top 10. Oh well, he's not there. He had 202 yards passing, 100 yards rushing, and 2 rushing touchdowns against the Colts. I still don't think this guy's a leader. I don't like his passing game acumen. I think he's like a slightly better. He's like a better Justin Fields. Like I don't know. I don't think the Ravens can ever win a Super Bowl with this guy. I know I'm talking a lot of trash about him right now, and he is a former MVP winner. So yeah, he is good. I have him at 13. I don't have him at like 20. He's got the Browns this week though. That should be a much tougher challenge. I don't see him doing well against them. We'll see. I think he's probably going to stick around 13. At 12, I got Geno. Yeah, I got Geno above Lamar. I know. I love Geno Smith, though. He had 296 yards, a touchdown, and a pick against the Panthers defense that isn't bad. The Panthers defense is pretty solid. They're heading into Giants Stadium this week. I don't know. He's probably going to be about what he always is at number 12 overall. I don't think he's going to really be dropping or rising too much at this point. I think he's probably going to stay around 12. He's just overall a solid quarterback. That's what he is. He's like kind of like a really good game manager, from what I can tell. He does have a very talented offense, so there is that. But I don't know. I like Geno Smith a lot. West Virginia, let's go. At 11, I got Kirk Cousins still just outside the top 10. It's tough to rank this guy. He had 367 yards and 3 touchdowns, which is really good. It was against a Chargers defense that isn't like amazing, so there's that. He also threw a pick, which pretty much lost him the game. It did lose him the game. He always seems to make these silly mistakes in big games, which is why I just can't put him in the top 10. He always makes those big mistakes. He's got the Panthers this week. I think he's going to roll again and have big stats. Hopefully he wins this time. They're 0-3, which is really not good for Kirk. But yeah, I got him at 11 for now. He's going to stay around here. This is like the area where I'm pretty set with where I have guys. Getting into the top 10, I still got Brock Purdy. I really like Brock Purdy. 310 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Giants. He just looks so smart. He's a very smart quarterback. He always knows where to throw it. He's not the most talented guy. Neither was Tom Brady, though. Brock Purdy is like the second coming of Tom Brady, in my opinion, right now as I see it. He's just so smart with the ball. He does almost throw picks out here and there, but that's more a lack of talent, which is unfortunate because if this guy had like Josh Allen level talent, he would probably be the number 1 quarterback, at least on par with like Pat Mahomes, I think. So yeah, he stays at 10 for now, and the 49ers really got a gem in this guy. At 9, I got Matt Stafford. He looks really good. He's got 269 yards and a touchdown against the Bengals. He also threw 2 picks, which is unfortunate, but with Matt Stafford, you're going to get those games. He's a gunslinger. He's got the Colts this week. I think he should have another huge game against them. He's just a very talented, very smart guy that slings the ball. So, yeah, like I said, he's going to have these games where he throws interceptions. It's just who he is, but yeah, he's a top 10 quarterback for sure. Super Bowl winner. And he's got the Rams rolling again. And it's surprising, but they are on their way to make the playoffs. At 8 overall, I still got Jared Goff ahead of Matt Stafford. I thought about switching them, but Stafford threw 2 picks. Goff didn't throw a pick. Or wait, I thought he did. I don't have the pick down. Maybe that was last week. I don't know. No, he definitely did throw a pick. I didn't write it down. 243 yards, a touchdown, and a rushing touchdown, though, against the Falcons defense. I love Jared Goff. I think he's the perfect Detroit quarterback. He's got the Packers this week. They should roll. They should have a really good game. Pumped to see what Goff can do against the Packers in a tough Lambeau Field. Um, I like Jared Goff though. I think he's either going to stay in the top 10 or he might fall just out of it if he has a few bad games in a row. But he's just so good in this offense. I think he's probably going to stick in the top 10 unless somebody comes up and topples him. 7 overall. Like I said before, I think the top 7 really separate themselves from the rest of the pack. These are like the franchise Super Bowl winning caliber guys. And Trevor Lawrence, I have starting out the 7. 279 yards, a touchdown, and a pick against the Texans. But the Jags offense is missing something. They start out slow every game. They usually come back. In this one, not so much though. I don't know what's going on with them, that they really have to figure it out. They're having a very slow start to the season, and it's starting to affect their chances of making the playoffs because I think it's wide open right now with the Colts, the Texans, and the Titans. If the Jags don't start getting back to what they were last year, and winning games like this that they should be winning, then they might miss the playoffs, to be totally honest. And they're too talented to do that, especially on offense with Trevor Lawrence. He's one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league, if not the most talented quarterback in the league. So, yeah, I don't know. He stays at 7 for now. He's probably going to stay in the top 7 for the whole year, I hope. Hopefully he can even push some of these other guys out. We'll see. They're very talented, though, like I said. And, yeah, they're at 7. At 6, I still got Josh Allen. He's talented enough to rise into the top 5, but he's been throwing picks this year. He's got 218 yards, a touchdown, a pick, and a rushing touchdown against the Commanders. Very talented guy. They won that one handily, and he shows every week how talented he is. He just trusts his arm a little too much. He's probably the biggest gunslinger in the game. Him and Stafford are gunslingers, and you love to see it. It's always explosive, and there's always fireworks. But Josh Allen's just got to contain it a little better, I think. He's thrown a lot of picks this year so far. They're going into the Dolphins, or the Dolphins are coming into the Bill Stadium this week. So Josh Allen, if you got him on fantasy, you better be starting him in this one because he is going to go off against this Dolphins defense. He might rise into the top 5 after this week. It'll be exciting, to say the least. So got him at 6 for now. Right above him, I got Joe Burrow. I really think he shouldn't have played this week, but I understand they were 0-2. He had 259 yards, threw a pick, and was still limping around against the Rams. Yeah, they got the Titans this week. That's a good Titans defense, and I just really think they need to sit him. He could get seriously injured at this point, to where they lose him for the entire season, not just a few games. And I don't think anyone wants to see that. Let me see an update real quick. Good Joe Burrow news. I'm assuming that means he's probably going to be playing again. I'm just so nervous every time. It's kind of like when Alex Smith came back from his terrible injury. And like you were just holding your breath every play, like please no one touch this guy. He's made of glass. This is kind of how I feel about Joe Burrow this at the beginning of this year because you can tell he's injured. He's playing injured. I don't understand. Just sit him. Let Jake Browning play a game and see what he's got. See what he can do in this offense. Joe Burrow, I get it. He wants to play. He wants to win games. They're 1-2. They need to win more games. But this is a Titans team that is very talent poor on the offensive line. This is a winnable game even with a backup quarterback, in my opinion. Sit the guy. I went down one. Sit the guy and just let Browning play, please. Let Burrow sit for like 2 weeks so he can freaking heal. But yeah, got him at 5 for now. Hopefully he doesn't play and get hurt. At 4, I got Jalen Hurts. He dropped one spot. 277 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Also a rushing touchdown against the Buccaneers defense that played pretty well against this offense. Jalen Hurts, I guess he played ill in this game, which maybe that's part of what's going on, but I don't know. They've been underperforming on offense so far this year. Hopefully they can get it together. They're very talented. They should be. Jalen Hurts and the receivers specifically should be doing much better. They got the Commanders this week. Should be a big game. Jalen Hurts should be staying in the top 7 at least, but for now, I'm dropping him to 4 because of who passed him up, which was Tua Tagovailoa. He is hair on fire this year so far. He had 309 yards and another 4 touchdowns against a struggling Broncos defense. And one of the most exciting games of this century, probably. They dropped 70 points. It's insane. Tua is just finding his guys all over the field, and that running game is crazy too. It's just, it's such an explosive offense. It's crazy, and Tua is leading it perfectly. I think I might have to update that picture because I think he has a full sleeve now. So I might do that next week. But yeah, Tua, he hops up to number 3, and honestly, he might unseat Justin Herbert if he does good against a very good Bills defense, because this is his first true challenge of the year. This is a very good Bills defense, and they definitely want to try to shut this offense down. Jalen Waddle should be back, so that gives him a little more firepower too, which is crazy to say after a 70-yard game. But yeah, this will be very exciting to see what they can do against a very good defense, and see if Tua really deserves to be a top 5 quarterback, which I think he does. He looks so good out there. And number 2, I still got Herbert, 405 yards and 3 touchdowns against a struggling Vikings defense. He's very talented. I'm keeping him at 2 because nobody else has proven that they're better than him so far this year, other than one person that is obvious at this point. He's got the Raiders this week. Should be another big game for him in this offense. He lost Mike Williams. They shouldn't miss a beat, I don't think, against this team. Josh Palmer and the rookie Q, one of them, at least, maybe both of them, are going to step up and have big games in this one. So Herbert, he's staying at 2. We'll see it. Maybe Tua can dethrone him, but I'm thinking he probably stays at 2, which is good, which is really good for him. I hope the Chargers keep going. They won a game finally, which is crazy that he's at number 2 and they're only 1-2 right now. But he's just so talented and the stats are there. He's just got to win those games. That's what it is. And then number 1, of course, Patty Mahomes. What else are you going to say? He took care of the Bears defense, 272 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's got the Jets this week. Harder challenge, but it's Pat Mahomes. They should be fine. Travis Kelce scoring. I know you don't want to hear it, but T Swift, baby. This is the T Swift team. Now, yeah, that's my list though. Tell me what you agree with, what you don't agree with. Let me know what you think. I'm probably going to add a few names. Jameis Winston's probably going to be on here this week. Probably add Bryce Young back, Anthony Richardson. We'll see if Burrow plays. Probably going to stick around. Jimmy G, we'll see if he plays. Brian Hoyer might be on here. I hope not. He's probably going to drop them quite a few spots if he does. But yeah, I'm going to try to keep this up every week. This one was a little late. I'm going to try to get it earlier in the week this time around. Been having a few problems with my other site. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.